So now we're going to go through the squat portion of the movements, and always the beginner exercise is the goblet squat, but don't underestimate this, guys. This is the foundation of being able to then load up onto the front squat movement, which we then prioritise. We don't do a lot of back squats. I feel there's more benefit, more long-term just training benefit from utilising the front squat as opposed to a back squat. So when we do any squat variation, we're always going to elevate the heels. The reason is that when we looked at, say, an RDL, that's going to be a hinge movement where the hips and kind of the low back are in this position of more of a hinge, just more of a hinge movement. When we squat, we want the squat to be more of a knee dominant movement. So that means the chest is up tall and the knees are traveling over the toes. If we are in a mixture of these movements, then to me, it's just not really a squat. So this is why we use heel elevation. Me off the heel elevation might look more hingy, like I'm not as upright as I can be when I come down to that bottom position, whereas when I'm on the heel elevation, it's nice and comfortable for me to stay tall in that position. Like my chest is nice and upright. This is a squat. Quads, glutes, like are all working together now in this position, but it's more of a natural straight up and down movement as opposed to more of a hinge, okay? So when we get the goblet, all that is the dumbbell in this fixed position of the chest. So 2 points of contact. The top of the dumbbell on the top of the chest, the bottom in contact with the bottom of the chest, okay? Nice and easy. Get the feet nice comfortable position on the heel wedge. From there, again, we're always going to hinge from the hips first. So we don't want like those knees traveling forward first. Then you need to move the hips back. Always think break at the hips. Yeah, so as if we're about to sit on a seat. Breaking at the hips, and then the knees will travel with. So they'll come slightly forward. You'll be in this kind of bottom position where nice and controlled, everything's doing its job right, glutes and quads are all working together, and then you can push through the heels, the whole of the foot, and then push straight back up again. Don't let the heel wedge drive you onto your toes, and then the heels come up. You want to stay nice and tall in this position. Big breath into the stomach, nice and controlled, straight down, boom, then straight back up. One other thing which I don't want you guys to worry about is where your knees go in relation to your feet. So obviously there's a lot of information out there about driving the knees out as far as you can. To me it's too detrimental because when you drive your knees out, just the way internal and external the rotation in the hip works, the knees need to come in at some point. So for me the natural position is for the knees to kind of go straight out over the toe. We don't need to excessively drive that out because it then just causes more issues when you come up. You're hyper focused and trying to keep the knees out, that it just becomes so difficult that you're just fighting the natural position of the body. So just let the knees straight forward over the toes and then straight back up. As long as those hips go back first, there's no issues. I'm not excessively driving knees out, I'm just letting the knees travel over the toes and then straight back up. So with the goblet, it's all about working on that position now with external load. Your body weight's a lot heavier now. Nice and tall, squeeze everything tight, hips back, knees out over the toes, boom, straight back up, yeah? So again, we'll work on different rep ranges on here. Sometimes we'll do higher rep ranges for a little bit more of a hypertrophy stimulus. We might go slow on the way down, so eccentrics. So eccentric just means slow on the way down. So imagine me holding the dumbbell, it's 4, 3, 2, 1, just to get used to every position in the squat, and then nice and controlled back up, okay? This is a really good foundational movement to help us progressing onto like a little bit more squat work and being able to utilise being in better positions when we're doing front squats, etc. So that is the goblet squat.